guys did it right.
Yeah, dude.
Hell yeah, I like to see that.
Yeah, well, fucking.
I like to see that.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the Zen Perry Project. Today on the show we have Mike Vickers from Weatherlung. Enjoy the show.
Thank you so much for being on the show.
Fucking hyped to be here, brother. Hyped to be here.
Hey,
Cracking right into it.
got the Delos going.
That's
We're
right.
good to go. Yeah, you guys. We're gonna talk about this, but you guys don't seem like you should be sponsored by them at this point.
For real, right? Come on. I agree.
Let's get right into some meat and potatoes. You're releasing an album, Graveside Grin, March 15th. How'd this all come about?
Next week already? No, 2 weeks. Cool. Yeah, 2 weeks.
No, wait, isn't that next week?
Is it next week?
It's next Friday.
Next Friday.
Yeah.
And by the time this comes out, which will be on Monday, that is this Friday.
Yep.
Sick.
Everybody out there listening,
Okay.
make sure you check out their new album. So how did this album come about? Where did you record it? How was it a departure from your other projects and other EPs and albums that you had out already?
Hell yeah, yep. Basically, for us, this LP marks like a lot of big changes for the band. All some bad, some good, some bad that turned into good. So but all that to be said was basically coming out of COVID, we were just looking at like what we wanted to do, like how do we want to stay active and keep this going while the world is going crazy. Like how can we come out of this stronger? That was our basically like our goal. We didn't want to sit back on our asses. We were like, all right, let's utilize this time as much as we can. So I go back to bring up that only to say during that time we were like, what might be really good for us is bringing on a second guitarist. We can beef up our sound. We can bring in more leads. Zach, who does some of the clean singing and also plays guitar, it would afford him an opportunity to probably do more of the clean vocals. So we're like, let's bring a fifth member on and see if we can just really beef up our sound, like in those kind of two ways. So brought in a longtime friend of ours. His name's Greg. We've known him for many years prior, just through being friends with him. Him being us being a fan of his previous bands, him being a fan of our previous bands, just a lot of scene crossover and shit like that. So when we were like thinking about who it would be, it was very quick. We know who we're gonna ask first. So at the time he was still living in Colorado, so we knew it would be like a big ask, and we asked him and he was super hyped about it. He literally moved back to Boston, and we started like hitting the ground running like super hard with the writing basically. And that all basically leads us into like why this time we have a full length offering versus all our releases prior were just basically EPs, 5 to 6 songs with some interludes on there. That was literally just a matter of where we were at our capability wise, writing style wise, everything. So I just want to give that pre-context to be like adding Greg into the fold as having a lead guitarist just rocketed us to like a whole new level in terms of like the amount of writing we were doing, the amount of songs we were pouring out, what we were doing with the songs, like how we were amplifying our sound. And that's basically how we got to Graveside Grin. When I say like there was some unfortunate stuff along the way that got us there was, I guess at the end of 2022, or I guess it was the beginning of 2023 when we started I know so much time goes by with the albums, but from when you record them till when they actually come out. I guess it was the end of 2022. We found out that the practice space that we've had for the last 10 plus years was going to be getting knocked down. So we just got put in this really weird place where we had a recording date on the books. We needed to finish all the stuff that we had, and then we found out we're going to be losing our space. So it was like a really shitty time in regards to like, okay, now we're in a crunch time and we need to get stuff done and we don't know where we're going to go. But it's like one of those things where like when the fire's there and the expectation's hot, like that's sort of like, you know, when the best shit comes out. So it was like one of those things where we're stressed, but we all stayed like focused and on the ball with it. And I feel like it ended up like just sort of like all that emotion and everything that we were dealing with got poured into the music, and it just made for like ultimately like an even better record. So yeah, that's how we got that's a long-winded way to tell you how we ended up with finally bringing a full length into the mix.
Where did you record it? Who did you record it with?
We recorded with this dude who we recorded all our albums except the first demo with. His name's Chris Johnson.
Oh, yeah.
He plays in a local band, or he played for a long time in a local band that we're all favorites of. They were called Riff Cannon, which then turned into Summoner. But he also plays in Doom Riders, and I don't know if you know that band, Death Heaven.
I do not. No.
Oh, okay, yeah, he's like it's like this. They're huge, like touring black metal band. But he's in that band. He's one of our good friends. He's recorded all our stuff. We recorded with him, and we recorded at this place called New Alliance in Brighton, Massachusetts. It's kind of like a legendary spot for Boston anyway. A lot of Converge recorded there, even though they have God City, like back in the day before God City was a thing. They've recorded at New Alliance. It's a spot that probably most Boston heavy acts have gone through at one point or time.
What do you think makes it such a good spot for what you guys do? Was this the same spot that's in your documentary, your 4-part documentary?
No, the part that's in the spot that's in the documentary is actually I believe it's 2 spaces. The first space being Mad Oak Studios in Alston. Dude, the hell yeah with the balloons. That was sick fucking party.
I saw that, yeah.
The first space was called Mad Oak Studios, which is in Alston, which was very close. We were all kind of living like very close to that area at that time when we recorded. And then the other space is actually God City. Like that is actually at the God City in Salem. That's where we did our Lonesome, Ornery, and Evil. What makes the New Alliance space so special? We're not really sure in regard other than just its history. I guess that would be just the fact that so many bands have gone through there, and I don't know if that's probably one part. There's not a lot of places that you can go to record for decent prices in Boston. You know, there's Berkeley and stuff like that, obviously, but that's a lot. There's a lot of money trying to do that. So it's an affordable place for punk and metal and shit like that can actually, you know, afford the studio rates there. They're not like absolutely outlandish. And I mean, the building itself has gone through. It's been at different places. It had a location in Somerville. It had a location in Cambridge or some shit like that. So it's more so the namesake that I feel like is what makes it what it is, more than you know, the actual space itself. It was fine.
Well, you guys get some awesome sounds out of there. So
oh yeah, definitely, and that's a big part of Chris, our engineer. Like I said, he's done like everything except the demo with us, so he knows us as not only just as people and friends, but definitely at this point has a very keen idea of what we're going for. So he's a good person to work with in terms of like he already knows where our mind is at with things, so he's working with all that knowledge going into it, which is just it's great when your producer engineer is your friend and also a fan. It makes a huge difference.
absolutely. And I guess so from there, what was like, what do you think is kind of the theme of this album, if you had to pick one, or something that you write about, or kind of like what was the overarching thing? I mean, you kind of mentioned that it was out of 2020 and, you know, the lockdown and everything.
Yeah, I feel like that even when we're picking the name of the title, I feel like I wouldn't say there's necessarily, it's always hard to like pin down an overarching theme. Because the songs do have like subject matter that, you know, kind of spans like a large swing of emotions, but there is definitely an ever-present vibe. I guess that would be like on the reflection of death, or reflecting on things dying, whether that's you know, physically dying or relationships dying, spaces that you know and love dying. There's an overarching theme of change through destruction, I guess. Like that would maybe be like a way to put it.
That's interesting. I like that. What are your general thoughts about everything going on in the world right now? If you had to sum that up in a quick take.
Free Palestine.
Like that. Love that.
Yeah. Yeah, you know, I mean, it's fucking horrible. I can't believe it's hard to believe. I mean, everything's hard to believe. That's what I guess like social media 2024 is, but the fact that we're actively conducting our lives while there's like a real genocide happening at the same time, it's it makes you feel absolutely crazy. So yeah, you know, it's
Yeah,
wild.
it makes you feel gross sometimes, and you're like, well, shit, like I'm going out on the
Right, I know. Yeah,
with
yeah.
the
Who know?
boys and
Yeah,
drinking beers and everybody else, and I'm like, well,
right. No, I know. Totally, totally, man.
well, it's being brought to our faces, which is I guess what happened back in the 70s with Vietnam and or whenever the hell that was.
Right.
Yeah. So yeah. Anyway, kind of going on from there. Uh, dude, you seem like a very thoughtful person, and which is I would just love to segment your responses to this because they're so well thought out to the lyrics in your songs because they're so bonehead in the most beautiful way, where it's like you're just like kind of unlocking something.
Oh
What
yeah.
are you kind of like the brainchild of Leather Lung? How did the whole band come about, and what was the goal?
It's definitely a collective effort, and part of that stems from the fact that at the core of this band you have, you know, me and Zach and Jesse who started it off, and then Ben came into the fold shortly thereafter. Jesse and Ben, me and Zach have been friends. We grew up next door to one another, so like I always like to say about us, we have memories but with each other before we can remember, because our parents were literally pushing us around like in strollers together. So our our bond as a unit itself is like very friendship oriented. Is that how you say that word? Oriented? It's yeah. It's the core of it of our band is based around friendship before it's like dudes getting together for music. So that definitely affects our dynamic in a big way and just sort of like affects why we made the decisions we make. Everything is kind of thought of in that lens. So in terms of like brainchild, it was something that was started with me, Zach, and Jesse. Just in terms of we had a previous band that disbanded, and when we were trying to pick up the pieces from that falling apart, that's kind of how Leather Lung was born. We had a close friend of ours who introduced us to Ben, like a new drummer, and I was quickly like, okay, this dude is like one of our fucking boys. So that's how he came into the fold. And like I said with Greg, also huge friend before even any band connections like that. Um, in regards to like some specific elements, yes, I'll take credit for the fact that I do the lyrics. That's, you know, in terms of anything that's the brainchild of myself, that's the only thing I can take credit for is the lyrics. You know, they get run by through, you know, everybody is able to make an opinion on it, and they have, you know, a say on what's being said, or it gets, I don't just like blindly do shit. They don't find out day of the studio sort of thing. But in regards to specific questions around lyrics, I'm the one to ask for sure.
Oh yeah. Okay, I mean, yeah, just the general. What was the idea? Like, were you guys planning on being in a band that was gonna start taking off, and you wanted to get on a label, and you wanted to start playing shows around? What was the original idea, and why do you think it's gone on for? I mean, it's been a decent amount of time now.
Yeah, yeah, we're definitely. I think we're going 2024. I believe marks 10 years since our first demo, and we started obviously, you know, like, you know, a year and a half before that. I think in regards to like the motivation and everything, I just don't think we were done when our previous band um broke up. It was something that was a bit forced. And I think we all felt like we wanted to continue doing something. We still wanted to play music live. We still wanted to write heavy music. All of us had no intentions of stopping that. So we took a pause and decided like, okay, like what are our influences right now? Like, is this what we want to, I say that to say our band that we were in previously was a very hardcore punk our influences were in that nature, you know, death metal, hardcore, very heavy. When we talked about like what we wanted to do moving forward, we were listening to a lot of Electric Wizard at that time, a lot of Church of Misery at that time, a lot of Red Fang at that time. So we're like, okay, well, let's like, you know, take these influences that we have going on and kind of fucking move in this direction. Simultaneously, we felt like there was kind of a void in that for that lane of music, especially in Boston. And not that we were trying to fucking put a scene on our shoulder or be some fucking champion for some sound. We just were like, okay, there's actually not there's not somebody doing this right now. So could actually be like a fun thing for us to do. This could be our lane, you know? And we are fucking super passionate about stoner metal shit. So that's kind of like, we're like, let's fucking keep it going. It was like, we want to keep partying. We love playing house shows. And that's what we were doing a lot of, like in the beginning. We were fucking playing basements and any party that would have us. And it was really just about like continuing the party, to be honest with you. There was no like overarching message that we were trying to put out there with this per se. It was more so just like, let's be a fucking heavy metal band. Let's be an excuse for people to go out and party. Let's just give people a show, because we're all fucking huge music nerds. We all love going to live music, going to shows. Like I live in Brooklyn, New York. I'm at gigs 3 to 4 times a week, you know. I love being entertained. That's all we wanted to do. We just want to write shit that people could we knew they would feel and get, because it's not, you know, again, sorry, I'm being so fucking wordy. I know I'm going on and on and on, but you know, the lyrics aren't fucking mythology and wizards and fucking, you know, smoke rings on top of a mountaintop and shit like that. It's about like the fucking hard bullshit or the fun bullshit that all of us deal with and can relate to. So that's really like, that's what I want. I want people to fucking feel like, oh, I actually can get this music, you know, or I can relate to it. And I always say all that and then go, you know, literally my favorite band is Electric Wizard. So I love fucking songs about satanic vampires that drink drug-laced blood and shit. Like, don't get me wrong, I love all that, you know, but I wanted something that would actually fucking make people like shake their ass when they come see us and like really like let go and let loose type shit.
That's a big part of your guys' whole vibe, is just like keeps the party going, because that's what you know, Michael was saying to me. And then also watching your documentary, got to the 4th installment of it, and people were like, damn, I really needed that today, like kind of like brought me out of this funk or like whatever. And I was like, damn, I couldn't agree more. If anybody out there listening, you should definitely go watch the 4-part documentary.
Hell yeah, I'm really glad that you checked that out. That was such a pleasure to be a part of. And the guy who made that documentary, he actually just came out to New York to visit me last weekend. And we were just reminiscing about that, you know, doing that and how much fun we had, and how he still gets hit up all the time about like people who enjoy it and stuff like that. So that's great to hear. That's great to hear.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, he's an incredible like visual storyteller in general.
Big time. Yep.
And to get, and you guys are very like, I would love to go on this now. You guys are really, really into making some really awesome videos. Like, yeah, we were just, before this, we were pumped up with the 2-year music videos. Whose idea is it to do these music videos? People come with you for like ideas, or is it other way around? Your branding is so on point for Leather Lung. How do you make this all come together in a video?
Hell yeah. You know, it's been kind of it's been both ways. And in regards to this new album and the videos that we've put out for Spitting the Casket and Empty Bottle Boogie, those were just Leather Lung brainchilds that we hit up other people to help us create. In previous music videos, like for Miscreant and Freak Flag, which is just basically a collection of assemblage of live clips. Those are both put together actually by the same gentleman we're talking about from the Dirty Mangy Dogs video. He's the videographer, and the Miscreant video was sort of like his brainchild. That he had the idea for the concept based on the song and yada yada, all that. That one would be on him. But the newer ones, yeah, that was on us. Yeah.
Hell yeah. And How for what's it, the boogie one? No, spit
Empty
in the
Bottle
grave.
Boogie.
No, that one's fucking amazing. But how'd you get the whole crew together for Spit in the Grave? I feel like that was it would have been a logistical nightmare to get all those motorcycles there,
Yeah,
all the people there, all the cameras, all the
yeah,
gear. That seemed like, but it's
it
still
is.
so fun.
It is. I'll tell you what, and it's a testament to great friends, absolutely, and that's what we wanted to highlight and showcase in that video. Um, it definitely, we knew there was going to be a challenge, but we also have literally such amazing friends that we knew would rise to the occasion. Just taking a step back, Spin the Casket is great. I love that video so much. And basically, the whole impetus of how it came to be was Jesse and I, our birthdays are, his is May 26th, mine May 31st. So typically every year for literally the length of our friendship, we've celebrated our birthday together, and it typically is a rowdy party somewhere. And in the year, I guess it was 20, the years are so fucked up past COVID. I'm sorry. I guess it was the summer of fucking 23. Yeah, summer of 23. It was in May, we had our birthday parties, and we had it. He lives right now, he's currently living on this small plot of land that you can see obviously in the video on this lakeside. So we had the party at his place. It was essentially the same crew that you saw in the music video. It was that same crew came through for our birthday basically, and we had just a fucking awesome rager of a time, you know. Got so many texts, like even weeks later, dude, what a sick party. Hope you guys do that next year, blah, blah, blah. And we're like, oh man, that was good. So we're talking about like what we want to do for the release and what song we want to have music videos for, blah, blah, blah. And you know, I literally don't even know who said it, but it was just like, dude, what if we just do the party again and film that? That was like, and I was like, yeah, that would be sick. Like that's a great idea. Let's just fucking try and recreate that. So we had the original party in May. Then we had some time in July. We're like, all right, let's fucking put another date on the books and like let's try and basically recreate that party, you know. And I felt like not only we recreated that party that we had back in May, but it was even more because everybody was like, you know, I had made a flyer for it and basically explained that it was going to be a music video. If you were going to be coming if you're going to be traveling there, you bring your bike. It was just like giving people a little bit of idea of like, you know, it's going to be the birthday party, but fucking amped up with a camera crew or whatever. So we fucking hired our buddy Caleb, who was an amazing videographer, obviously, that you can see from that. And we work with this really great like producer. Her name's Courtney, and you might have seen her photography work online. She goes under the name Light Witch. But she kind of basically like gave us the whole visual aesthetic and really kind of curated the vibe, like in regards to like how it visually came across. But yeah, the premise was just literally show people a good time. Like we wanted, I forget who was saying it to me a couple weeks ago, but they were just essentially like, I watched that and all I thought was, I fucking wish I was there. And I was like, that's what we wanted. I wanted you to watch that and be like, fuck, I want to hang out with those dudes. Like, fuck, I wish I was partnering with them. Like that was the goal.
Exactly what Michael said to me before I watched the videos.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Party with Leather Long. I was like, well, so do I.
Fuck yeah.
Like, the closest we're gonna get for it. But at the moment, what do you got going for your next birthday party? Just out of curiosity.
Yeah, right. Shit. I mean, well, it sounds like Jesse will still be at that spot that he's at now. So I think we're gonna try and fucking do the Rager again. I'm sure that'll be the case. Yeah, we're probably gonna just try and do that party again. It's a great spot with if the weather's right, the lake's right there. He's got a big ass like area to have a fire pit and shit. So as long as his neighbors can remain cool, then it's a spot to be for sure.
Main cool.
Yep.
As somebody I mean, your whole band, basically your whole thing seems to be escapism. In I mean that with true sincerity because I'm like, yeah, we need more of that shit.
Right.
What does your week look like usually? So you're saying you go to shows maybe 3-4 days a week. What's an ideal week for you? Because are you a graphic designer? Is that what I picked up?
Yep. Yeah. Basically, like I work like a typical you know, yeah, most days I'm probably working till like 6, 7 o'clock. And then, you know, I say like I'm pretty well behaved Monday to Wednesday. Obviously, when Thirsty Thursday rolls around, that's when that's when the party train has docked in the station. So yeah, no, I'm typically like trying to go out as much as I can. Thursday to Saturday, sometimes Sunday, you know, if shit's going on. But yeah, I'm always on my I live in New York City. I live specifically in Brooklyn. I get around everywhere for the most part on my bicycle or the train. So I'm just fucking hopping around to gigs, hopping around to honky tonks, hopping around the spots.
How long have you been here?
Moved right at the end. It really is right. I guess it marks the same time as Lelong. Like we were never living in the same spot since started. So I guess I moved right at the end of 2012.
Okay.
So
Right.
what the fuck? 14 years, 13 years, 10, 11 years. Sorry. I don't know. I'm bad.
Do you think the distance between you guys actually makes for better music creation, or I already see you nodding, so I'm something.
Oh yeah, I would say it's a dynamic that takes consideration and maintenance, and everybody has to be on the same page and hold similar expectations about what's going on. I think we have been able to make it work and make it work excellently. I don't know. Would it be better if I was closer to them? Yeah, it probably would ease some things, but you know, at the same time, we don't necessarily have any issues with it. Like I said, you see me right now. I'm in a practice space here in New York. I get in here twice a week for an hour. They get in this similarly back in Boston. We have a jam space. They're doing the same thing. When we're in the rehearsal process, which is like us running through the set, making sure we're tight as fuck. That is very easy for me to you know, run through all the songs here. I have recordings that I just fucking plug in here and able to do. But when we get into the writing process, it's more helpful for me to be in the room with them. Just
Whoa,
like
wait, quickly back up.
Yep.
You practice by yourself.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Yep. Yeah. Basically, like I hook up.
That's sick.
Yeah, no, yeah. We record, like we'll get from the engineer the tracks without vocals on them, like, you know, after we're done recording. Yeah. So I have practice version recordings that I can just fucking blast from the PA and then, you know, do like from the mic on my own. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Yep. You have to, because like if
places. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's just like if you're not maintaining, especially harsh vocals and stuff like that, it's you never want to be fucking have a tour coming up or some bullshit like that, and you won't be able to make through it. You know what I mean? Like
you don't want to blow your voice.
I always have to keep in shape with the vocal shit. You know?
Yeah, you don't want to blow your. You just gave me beer, Michael.
Hell yeah!
There's 6 beers lined up here. Like I've only drank like 2.5 of them.
Love it.
Well, he's a good producer. Well, it's going back to your band being in different places. It's like hot, passionate sex with a long distance lover when you guys come together.
Right.
You like to say that?
Absolutely, dude. Distance makes the heart grow fonder. Absolutely. Yeah, they like me more that they don't see me every week for sure. No, I'm just kidding. It does. You know, it like I said, it's like because it takes effort to maintain and diligence, that adds a layer. You know, it keeps everybody accountable. You know, because I mean, if we start, it's going to start being very evident if we're not keeping on top of this, you know, and keeping a good rhythm, good flow. If I start getting distant and vice versa, it's going to become very apparent very quickly. So having this element where we really need to be always mindful of what's going on with one another, and you know, when's Mike going to be back? We have a band calendar that's really like, you know, we're keep up on all that shit. We have a good idea of like what's coming, planning ahead, and just keeping everybody like on the same page. I feel like, and that's, I'm not trying to toot. A lot of people ask about this, like, how do you guys fucking do that? I can't believe you guys do that. And I always just try and tell people it's very important to set expectations and get everybody on the same page. Like people get into these relations. A band is a fucking marriage. It's such an absolute relationship. And like when you let communication fall to the wayside, it just compounds and like it just you have to be on the same page. You really fucking do. I can't. I always trying to stress that to bands, or like, how do you guys do that? You know, I'm like, you guys need to fucking become friends. Hey?
You be able to party together in general.
For real.
And just yeah, communication definitely comes through that whole idea. I mean, you guys are very much on the same page, especially after watching the documentary. It seems like it's like a no-brainer, and you guys are having fun doing it, which a lot of people can make doing what we do very like hard, but you guys make it look easy.
Yeah.
You've been on Magnetic Eye Records now. That's what you're releasing this your next album with. How did you get into that? I mean, Zach Wild's on there. Like they have some heavy
Dude,
hitters.
yeah, I know. We're honored. We're absolutely honored. The origin story of getting onto Magnetic Eye is a bit convoluted in the sense that when we came onto the label, it was operated by, it had like two more of like heads who were bringing in bands and things of that nature. At the time, one of those two people was a Boston person, and they were aware of us and they were really into us. So they were excited about Let Along and bringing us into the fold for our next. They were happy with our Lost in Temptation release, which we put out on a different label called Poison Mind out of New Jersey. And it was just a one label deal with Poison, or one record deal, excuse me, with Poison Mind. So we were shopping around. Magnetic Eye was interested, and it just seemed like a great fit at the time. Like the gentleman who brought us on, like came into the conversation as what appeared to be a fan and all that, and was into us. So we're like, hell yeah. Right now, I say all that to say that person is no longer with the label, not like bad terms or anything like that. So like it's been a bit interesting in the sense that we were brought on by somebody else, but so far so good. We've enjoyed our time at Magnetic Eye. No complaints.
Hell yeah. And just out of curiosity, like what is like this is gonna be nerdy for the musicians listening out there. What is the process like with a label with the album that you just put out? As much as you feel like saying, like how much of a hand do they have in it? What are they part of the promotion? Like to what extent are they doing things? If whatever you feel comfortable answering.
No, I think it's good because I wish I knew more. I definitely wish I knew more. And I don't know. It's not everybody has like a friend they can turn to or people they can turn to. So no, I don't know. I don't mind talking about it. In regards to the process, like and the label's involvement, I think it's definitely different for everybody. Like I say, each band's, especially in their beginning stages of coming onto the label, there's varying degrees of what your deal is going to look like. For a band like Let Along, our deal, or rather our objective in having a record label, is to have distribution and somebody who will print the vinyl. That's it. That's all our expectation can be. It's nice when the label offers other things in regards to, oh, we have this network of people, we can help you with PR. We have this network of people that, may be able to, that are tapped into some booking agents. It's nice when you have those things, but our expectation is the distribution that we'll never have as a band and the ability of getting the record into a plant in a timely manner and printed like that. That's why we want a label. That's the relationship that we have with them. Magnetic Eye affords us other cool things. They're really involved in, like you said, that's the Zach Wild stuff. They do a lot of those cool Redux series where they put out these albums that are like an album that's redone, like all the tracks are redone, or not redone, covered by various artists to make these cool limited releases that vinyl collectors and things of that nature that and just general fans of those legendary albums enjoy. So there's like cool stuff like that. But process was, for a band like us, there's no recording budget. They're not like, hey, you guys get X amount of money to go into this studio. No, we pay for all of it. We pay for the recording time, we pay for the engineer, we pay for the mixing, we pay for the mastering, and it's fucking expensive as fuck. And we pay for all that. We hand it over to the label. They get it into the plants. They get it into the, you know, all the stuff. If there's, we haven't had any issues like, well, I won't say that. For the most part, it's a pretty seamless process in regards to this is what we did. Go print it now. There's not a lot of change this, change that, change that. Again, you know, it's only because we're just little long, so there's not really the stakes aren't that high basically. But and that's what it is. We hand it over to them, and they take on the cost of printing the record. They take on the cost of distributing it to the various online stores and in physical stores. Yeah, and that's basically the rundown of it for sure.
No, that's great. It's really good information to know because it's like not that easily accessible out there, and you never know what anybody's getting. And you know, I feel
right. And you're always wondering too, like, how the fuck did this band do that, or you know, what on any varying degree. You know, it's like sometimes they do. Sometimes the label. I know people who have gotten like, okay, you guys have a $5,000 recording budget. You know what I mean? Well, the label will flip, you know, the money your way for that. So yeah, that just wasn't our our deal.
I feel like 5,000 is fucking amazing too. Well,
oh
no,
yeah, you know, that'd be great. You know,
I mean, if you can get a
help.
really good full album for $5,000, I don't know. Unless it's by a home.
Yeah, no, I mean, no, that's just like the recording. You know, 5,000 probably for a full length. Yeah, that'll probably get you like some decent amount of studio time, maybe, but you're still gonna end up your engineer, you know, them mixing, them mastering, yada yada yada.
Yeah, and then yeah, we know how that goes.
Yep.
I'm a huge sucker for branding. And by branding, I don't mean like, oh, this is how you advertise yourself, but like you guys sound like your name, you look like your name, and then what goes to your aesthetic and everything, like we were talking about the videos in the past. If you have any thoughts about that and how one band might get into what they actually really are at their core, like yourselves. Side question to that is like, how did you get to make was it Dive Bar Devil Beer? So like kind of talk about the branding and like how people view you and a good way for other bands to go about doing that.
Oh yeah, no, I think branding is so critical and important. I think in regards to Let Alone, we're fortunate that my creative passion outside of making music is making art. Like I said, I am a graphic designer, so the branding of the band was always going to be of like the utmost importance to me. And we knew from the get-go, like I wanted everything to be curated very carefully in regards to any bit of art, any bit of content. Like for a very long time, we were, you know, actually mostly responsible for like not responsible, but any opportunity we got to like have a flyer be done by us or something like that we could have control of, we would always try, because we want the visual language and everything to exactly like you said. We want it to ring true. Like when you see it, you're like, okay, I think I fucking get it. And then, you know, when you actually see it, you're like, okay, I definitely get it. That's so, I think that's so important. People also crave that, whether they inherently know it in those words. It's just nice when there's a cohesive look and sound, and it just, I don't know, it's a very digestible thing. And I don't want there to, I want, it's everything that you said. Like I want exactly to see it and get it. And that doesn't mean like, you know, you need to fucking throw drips and skulls and barbed wire on everything. You can do it in a specific way that, you know, just fucking rings true to what you're actually all about. In regards to the beer, we're so fucking lucky. This brewery out of Braintree, Massachusetts, which is like a neighborhood of Boston, they hit us up. They're like, hey, would you guys be, you know, we see you're all about the fucking beers. Like, would you guys be down to like do a beer? And we're like, absolutely. But, you know, right out the gates, I was like, I don't want, you know, imperial stout that's, you know, dark, and IPA that's like 420% and 666 and like all this fucking weird ass like don't get me wrong, I love beer. I love craft beer. I love all sorts of styles, but like a leather lung beer is a beer that you can drink a fucking more than a six pack. You should be able to shotgun the beer if it's a leather lung beer. So that was the that was the goal. I wanted something that was light, crisp, sessionable, and literally something that people would, be down to shotgun. So they were like, hell yeah, like let's do something that's similar. We'll call it like a Modelo clone. We're not going to like literally try and recreate Modelo, but we'll use that process, like that similar thinking in regards to how that beer is made. That beer is a Pilsner style lager. I don't know if you on here it tells you Pilsner style lager. So that Pilsner as quality to it is what gives it that like crisp, refreshing, the level of hops that are in it. That Pilsner, that little Pilsner style, that's kind of like a marker of like what the style of the beer is. So we did something very similar. We used a what was it? A Mexican corn or something was in the bill. So it had like that similar to how this would be made. It would be a Mexican style corn or whatever. And then we used Pilsner style yeast or whatever, something like that. That whatever, like that's what. As far as like the actual brewing process, we did actually get to be there and do all that stuff. The science of it, it was a little bit over my head, but all I know is it tasted exactly like I wanted. It fucking ripped. I was so happy.
That's so cool.
Yeah, and if you do eventually ever get to come across one, my favorite part about it is we were able to get the brewery to die cut the labels. So typically on craft beer, especially when they're in those big canning facilities or whatever, it's those tall silver cans and there's a sticker label that goes on it. And as you maybe have seen on our Instagram or whatever, I do the fucking shotgun thumb, the thumb gun thing. When it has those stickers on it, it's much harder to like press through. Even if you have a key or some kind of tool, like it's harder to press through that sticker.
Yeah.
Like, so I was like, can we put like a die cut thing in the actual label so people can shotgun it? And they were like, I don't know, we never done that, but we'll check. 5 days later, he hits me up. He's like, no problem, let's do it. And I was like, fuck yes. So I just loved that little element to it that, we were able to really go in hard, like with the Die Bar Devil and the branding and everything, and then just add that shotgun element, like put it over the top for me. I was very hyped. And they were so cool about everything. They never said no. They never were like, it was a great experience top to bottom. And it's still out there. Like
where do you get it?
I think they're actively brewing it right now, another batch, and this will be the fourth time they've like actually brewed it.
Where do you get it?
Mainly you can find it on the East Coast. Where are you at? Where do you live?
I live in Bushwick.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Oh, what the fuck? Oh, okay, cool, dude. I'll fucking bring you some to you. We're gonna be we're going back, or I'm going back rather for 420. We're playing this festival at that brewery. It's called Hop Smoker. We're gonna be playing with Ruby the Hatchet, Acid Witch, that band Summoner,
like a camping festival?
Iron Horse. What's that?
It's like camping festival or what?
This one, no, it's literally just at the brewery. They have they put a nice stage in the brewery. They just do like an all-day festival. It's gonna be 2 days. This one, I'm really pumped about it. But we're treating it as like our record release, doing that gig. And when I'm there, I'm gonna bring a bunch more of the beer back, like bring a bunch back home. I've only seen it one time in New York at a store, and I was so fucking hyped.
I bet.
Where was it? They have small distribution, but they do have it out here, so it's pretty cool when you actually do see it.
I just love the idea that you were looking for Modelo's and you were like, wait a second, I know that beer.
Right? Legit, yep. And people send me pictures too, like when they see it like out in the wild, which I always appreciate. They'll fucking snap me a pic or whatever, and that's my favorite. I mean, obviously you can get it at the brewery and shit, but it's always nice when you actually see it in a store fridge. It's fucking so tight.
Yeah, and these collaborations are so good to do for bands. I think it just really just adds to the element that it's out there. You guys are out there to make people party.
That's right.
What you know what? I think I want to go into the flash lightning round. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, hell yeah.
All right, we got a bunch of dumb questions here, and we have some that may trigger some thoughts. But all right,
not.
Describe Modelo in one word.
Oh shit. Shotgunnable.
Describe your ideal first date in a sentence.
That's sick. I think my in one sentence. We go to a honky tonk. I spend the majority of my bills on the jukebox, and we dance all night.
Hell yeah. All right.
Hell yeah.
Chevy or Ford?
Oh fuck. Ford Broncos. Broncos a Ford?
Hell yeah.
Fuck yeah, I'll go that.
All
Broncos are
right.
cool, but
Favorite cereal mascot?
oh fuck. The Smacks frog. He was always pretty zany.
Who's that?
Smacks, the frog. Horrible
Oh,
cereal.
Honey Smacks.
I don't know what
Yeah, Honey
They're
Smacks.
really
Yeah.
bad for you.
the...
Yeah, definitely. Horrible cereal. I just love that little frog dude.
Hell yeah. Favorite city?
Brooklyn, no doubt.
Oh yeah, dude. Best metal album of all time.
Fuck. That's crazy. Oh man. It depends on who I don't want to give a stock answer, but no, you know what? I'm gonna say best metal album of all time. I think you're probably supposed to say Black Sabbath, Black Sabbath, and in most cases I would, but I'm gonna say Judas Priest, British Steel.
Yeah. Really tickled Michael on that one. Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
All right. Between you, Ben, Jesse, Zach, and Greg, who has the biggest gear problem and or the biggest gear nerd?
I would say it's probably Zach has the most issues with his equipment, but Greg is the most indecisive with his equipment. So he'll make like purchases and he'll make things like that, and it'd be like, "Fuck, why did I do that?" So it's probably Greg, I guess.
Yeah, it's like the difference between somebody who has a really bad coke problem and somebody who has a big bad like overarching drug problem. They can't decide which one they want to fuck with.
Right.
Well, that was a lightning round. I don't
Fuck
think we've
yeah.
done it before, but for some reason me and Michael just got a bunch of dumb ideas for you. And we
I
thought,
like it. No, that's fun,
shot.
dude. Keep it going. That's like, I mean, keep it going in the future. I guess that's good. I like it.
Fuck yeah. Well, as we begin to wrap this up, I kind of want to just like get your whole thing. What was it like growing up for you? Like, what are your when did you start getting into music? And like, if you could like look back on the person, look back in that younger version of yourself, what would you tell them about anything music related or anything about just like life advice?
I feel like my musical exploratory path was completely self-guided, and a lot of people I sometimes wish that I sometimes wish that I had somebody in my life, whether it be an uncle, an older brother, an older sister, of someone who could have shown me the way. So I don't know if I've necessarily benefited. I certainly don't have any regrets, but I sometimes look and think I almost wish that I had somebody to guide me through certain periods. That being said, I grew up on rock radio. If it was on the radio, specifically the station called WAF, like I was listening to it as soon as like I had the ability to have like my own music in my hands. Like, I had it. Like as soon as I could found out what a AM FM fucking little device was, that I had it in my ears at all time. Like, and I was always just listening to this fucking channel called WAF. So in Boston, that's a lot of stuff like Godsmack, Alice in Chains, Stained, a lot of like what would be considered probably like shit that just came out after grunge, and obviously like a fuck ton of new metal. And you know, that's like my musical foundation. Anything that was on rock radio from my ages of, you know, being like 9 to 15, that's what I was listening to and loved. The first time I actually got brought to a show, it was this hardcore show. I was probably around 14, 15 years old at the roller rink in the next town over. And that just fucking changed my whole life. Actually seeing, holy shit, like these people who are essentially my peers, like they can't be that much older than me, are like up here, like entertaining, like for all these kids, and all these kids are going nuts. I had no idea that that was a thing, and when that was introduced to me, that was it. That was all I wanted to do. So from the age of 14 onward, it was a how do I become a band? How do I be a band? Like how do I eventually get to this point? I had no aspirations of like picking up a guitar or drums or anything like that. I always saw myself as a vocalist. I don't know if that's because I have a passion for writing or I don't have the patience to learn an instrument, but that's just always where I found myself. Um, and as soon as Zach and I moved in together when we were 17, and literally months after we had moved in together, he decided to buy a guitar, and that was it. That was it. We he's like I said, he grew up literally right alongside me. His story is the exact same as mine. We both grew up fucking listening to WAF. If he would buy a CD, I wouldn't buy the CD. This is going off just to let me know I only have 10 minutes. Don't worry about that.
I got that. Yeah.
But yeah, like it would be like, oh, you bought this Linkin Park CD. Okay, I won't buy that because we would like give you, you know what I mean? It would be shit like that. We would give each other back music. So like it was always the same. He was with me when I went to that first fucking show at the Roller Kingdom. So, yeah, that's I don't know. Maybe that's a long-winded,
Yeah,
weird, shitty.
What advice would you have for your younger self?
Oh, advice for your younger self? Shit. I feel like when you're younger, you're very afraid to look stupid for liking certain things. And maybe that'll be hard for anybody who's younger and trying to fit in to get over, but I would just say don't let anybody like tell you what's good or what's not good. Always try and form your opinions for yourself and like back your opinions up with like, you know, your own fucking shit. And don't, especially when it comes to music, don't be afraid to like something, or you know, because you're worried about getting ridiculed or mocked for or whatever. I felt like I closed a lot of doors as a younger, ignorant, hardcore kid to shit that I wish I didn't go, I'm too cool to listen to that, or that's old person's music, or whatever the fuck. Like, you know, I'm such an eclectic person nowadays, you know. I definitely wish that I wasn't so young and dumb back then. But yeah, it's part of growing up as well. But if I can say anything, is like your fucking musical opinions and your choices are yours and yours alone. Like, don't let anybody fucking tell you otherwise.
Fuck yeah. All right, last question. I know you gotta get out of here because you saw the lights come on in the studio. Last question we always ask everybody: what do you do when you're dealing with imposter syndrome? You start stacking yourself up against other people. You start feeling like you ain't the shit that you think you are. You know what? How this is a thing that everybody deals with. How do you deal with it?
I think I just fucking try harder. I mean, I think I honestly let it get to me, um, as a way to motivate me. It can go two ways. Like I see it as like I'm either gonna let this fucking make me sit down, or I'm gonna let it make me stand up. So I just fucking, if I start feeling like that, I just try and go out and prove it to myself. Like I can fucking shit. I better just go. I just fucking better ride my bike the 15 minutes and get in the space for an hour and fucking remind myself that I can do this. You know, yeah, you got to.
Fuck yeah, dude. Well, dude, Mike, this has been an absolute pleasure. What do you have to say to the people listening out there, your fans out there? What do people got to? What's coming up next for you guys?
Hell yeah. What I gotta say is, any opportunity that you get to see Let Alone live, please fucking try and make it happen. And I realize that part of that falls on us to get to where you live, but we're fucking trying. We just got to book an agent. We got a tour coming down the Southeast in July, and we have a tour that we're still working on coming up in September. We're looking to get all over the United States. So like I said, fucking look out for Leather Lung. when you see us coming, please fucking come. It's taking us a lot of fucking work to get there, and we're gonna be very appreciative and privileged and have so much gratitude when we do get to you. So fucking come out, party with us. We're definitely down to party. I will smoke weed with you in the parking lot or wherever they'll allow us to smoke. Just hit me up. And next week, next fucking Friday, when March 15th, Graveside Grin comes out. So maybe by the time you're seeing this podcast, it'll be out. Go to Spotify and fucking let that bitch run through, okay?
Yeah, and they can buy it eventually too, right?
Yeah, it'll be available for like you can pre-order right now, whatever, but it's gonna be available on all formats, vinyl, CD, yada yada. March 15th.
Well, this has been an absolute pleasure. Mike, thank you so much. Leather Lung, you guys fucking rock. We can't wait to see more out of you guys. And yeah, we'll see you around Brooklyn. I'm going out show tonight. Maybe I might catch you there. Oh,
dude, fuck yeah, dude. Hell yeah, dude. Yeah, we'll see. After this, motherfucker, I got both your numbers, so I'll take them both down and make sure I have them, and I'll text y'all.
All right, dude. Thank you so much, man. You have a great night, all right?
My pleasure. Cheers. Hell yeah.
Hey, for the love of God, please subscribe to our Patreon for like $1 a month. That would help out a lot. Podcasts are, fun fact, really expensive to run, and I really enjoy doing this. So if you want to keep on seeing stuff like this, help me out. Also, like, subscribe, do all that fun stuff, and I really hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you next time.